The Commission on the Arts is a 5-member commission that is responsible for helping fund and promote the performing arts in the city of Ames.
We are responsible for establishing the criteria for the allocation of arts funding to various arts organizations in the community.
The Commission evaluates applications for both an annual grant process and a special grant process in the fall and spring to allocate funding to arts organizations for their activities.
So for the upcoming year, there are 16 agencies that will receive funding through the annual grant process, and that funding will total about $160,000.
We receive a pool of money, if you will, from the city each year. The majority of those funds go to annual grants that a variety of arts organizations in our community ask for each year. Those go towards to support programming that each of these organizations do.
The annual grant process is the process by which arts organizations in the city of Ames apply for their largest portion of the asset funding on an annual basis. And these grants go through an application process where the organization fills out the grant application, submits it to the city, and then it's evaluated by the Commission on the Arts.
We have a workshop each year for the annual grants, and arts organizations are required to attend that workshop to ensure that they have a clear understanding of the process. We then require them to come to a hearing where they explain the details of their funding request. We take those requests, evaluate each one, each member of the commission. There are 5 members. Each of us will evaluate the requests from each organization and determine a recommendation, an individual recommendation for each request. Those recommendations are then averaged out, and then we review those average allocations and adjust and ultimately approve. The allocations are then submitted for final approval to the Ames City Council. There are some very well-established arts organizations in this city, and they are very aware that this funding is available, and they make a request each year, both for annual grants and often for special project grants.
Twice a year, the Commission takes applications for what it calls special project grants. And those are grants that are of a smaller dollar amount.
And these grants are used for projects that may come up throughout the year that weren't necessarily part of their annual grant process. So this may be a special artist or a special event that they want to hold that they did not pursue funding for in their annual grant process.
And that's really an opportunity for arts organizations in our community to get even more creative, to come up with ideas for a special one-off program that they can seek financial support for.
There are some specific things that can't be funded, but otherwise the process is pretty broad, and we get a wide variety of activities, from performances that are open to the public to showcases of different artists, to different dance types that might be put together, to workshops for artists to learn about different techniques and so forth. And so there's a broad array of different ways that a special project grant might be used.
There are a lot of organizations in the city of Ames that are funded by COTA. To be eligible for the grant process, one has to be an arts organization that's a nonprofit in the city of Ames. We have lots of organizations that have been applying and receiving COTA grants for a long time, but there are also many other organizations in the city of Ames that may not know about the process or may not currently be applying that could be eligible as well.
Any agency that has arts as a mission, as part of its goals, is eligible for funding so long as it meets the other criteria, such as being a nonprofit and being in service to people in the Ames community.
The primary item for COTA funding that is ineligible is capital improvements. Capital improvements are improvements to facilities or property, and what the Commission on the Arts is trying to do is promote arts activities within the city of Ames.
We're really looking to fund requests to support programming of these arts organizations.
So bringing in special artists or special musicians, or funding events and not buildings and seats and things of that nature.
So there are 5 commission members, and they are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council. In order to be eligible to serve on COTA, you need to be an Ames resident and need to fill out an application during the time period when the mayor is trying to fill those board and commission vacancies.
Each commissioner is eligible for up to 2 3-year terms, and so every year we tend to have turnover of at least one.
I'm an assistant city manager for the City of Ames, and I'm the staff liaison for the Commission on the Arts. And so I attend the Commission's meetings, I assist them with their minutes and guiding them through the process, but ultimately the commissioners themselves make the decisions about what projects should be recommended for funding. So I just assist them as they go through that process.
I am chair of the Commission on the Arts. In that, I run the meetings, and there are occasionally, beyond the usual routine business, there may be some issues we need to talk about and address. I will maybe prompt those in my role as chair.
I first heard about the Commission on the Arts many years ago when I was involved with arts organizations in the city, and it's a big deal for arts organizations because oftentimes it represents a very large portion of that organization's funding for any given fiscal year. And so I've been part of the process for different organizations throughout my time in Ames.
I did Leadership Ames, and Leadership Ames, you are often encouraged to take advantage of the opportunities offered by service on a city board or commission. And an opportunity arose to apply, and there were a couple of organizations I applied for, and COTA was one, and I was very pleased to be selected.
Generally speaking, COTA meetings are the first Monday of every month at 5 p.m. in the council chambers.
People are always welcome to attend the commission meetings and get a better understanding of the arts projects that are going on around Ames. Often there are announcements about unique programs that are going to be taking place in the community in the upcoming month, and so it's a great way to get informed about those kinds of projects. And it's also just a great opportunity to understand better how your local option sales tax dollars help improve the community and improve the lives of the people in it.
Any board and commission is open to anyone who's a resident of Ames to apply. I believe there may be some criteria as far as age and stuff, but yeah, if you have an interest in the arts and an interest in supporting the arts, this is a great way to do it.
It really is quite a rewarding process. One of the things we're going through right now is developing improvements to both the annual and special grant process. And so being able to bring some of my talents and expertise from the business world has been really engaging for me to be able to help improve the process not only for the Commission but also for the arts organizations in Ames.
There are a lot of great things about the Commission on the Arts. First, the fact that it exists sends a message that this city cares about the arts and cultural offerings. It really enhances the community and contributes to the quality of life here. Another terrific thing is we are able to provide funding for such an array of arts. We do exhibits, art education programs, dance, theater, music, both singing and orchestral music. We help these organizations bring in top-notch groups from all over the country, all over the world really. And these are all events that have appeal to a variety of ages and constituencies throughout our community. It really is an amazing service that these arts and culture organizations are providing our community, are providing our residents, and it's an honor to be able to help them make that possible.
I think it's always interesting to see the unique projects that the arts agencies in the community come up with. They're often very creative, and it's always excellent to see the dedication that people in the arts community have to providing arts education and promotion of arts projects to the community. It's something that not a lot of other communities have, and it's very special.
COTA is just one way to support the arts in this community. The other way to support is to attend these events, these concerts, these theater productions. They add a lot to our community, and your support keeps them going.